What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Bethke.
I'm Mike Stadler.
Mike.
Carl.
Hey, I tell you, some of the listeners are getting kind of technical with their questions.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and this guy listens to us a lot, and he usually throws some pretty good questions out there, and his only fault is he's asking our opinion on this one.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, buddy. Scott, and we know who Scott is, from Wisconsin here. Scott asked us, do you find that the depth of cover can be tighter with ridges on a property with food on the top of the ridge and on the bottoms? Explain your thoughts on this for small properties. So if you got food on the top of the ridge, Mike, you got food on the bottom of the ridge, are all the bucks going to bed in the middle? And if they do bed in the middle, you know, we have to explain kind of how we look at it. What do you got?
Why do we have food on the top and on the bottom?
Well, I think in his case, this is a for instance. Okay. So the farmer has food, has corn on the bottom, and then Scott's property's got food on the top up there. So, and his thoughts are, which he's not wrong, but, and which we've seen, where the bucks will bed in the middle.
Yeah. Now,
knowing his property, which isn't even as tall as mine, are all the bucks going to lay in the middle? They might lay in the middle. Some of them will lay in the middle, you know, because his thoughts are, which is true, does are going to bed closer to the food on top, does are going to bed closer to the food on the bottom. Yeah, the space for the bucks is in the middle.
Well, the type of food is going to dictate that too.
True, 100%.
You know,
so there's a lot to the question, and like what, you know, and I will also say this: deer will stagger at that level. And we're just going to say side to side. So it could be east-west, it could be north-south based off of where the ridge goes. You know, because you can have does bed in the middle, then the bucks are going to be, let's just say if you got an east-west ridge, to the east or to the west, based off of the time of day, temperature, and where, you know, where things happened the night before. You know, they don't just bed in the middle because of depth of cover. They will bed east or west of does too. It still isolates them from the doe groups. You have to take that into consideration. That's a misconception. A lot of people have that.
And the doe bedding, they don't really use a lot of depth of cover.
No.
They don't care as much.
They're on top of the food.
They just
don't.
Can
be there.
Yeah, wherever's closer, usually.
Yeah. I mean, if you got open space, let's just say you got open hardwoods right off of your food, so the cornfield in the bottom, it's open hardwoods. Well, those does are going to bed in the first structure from that open space. So your depth of cover changes at that point, you know, and each property is going to be different. But those bucks will stagger side to side and be on the same level as those does.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean because you got food on top and food on the bottom that your depth of cover designates the buck's bed in the middle of the ridge. It makes sense that way as long as the cover is there. But at that point, you'd have to have doe cover down close to the food and doe cover up close to the food. So I know he's got cover up by his food, so that's where his does would be on top. But on the bottom, you know.
Yeah, because that type of setup, you're going to want to do something that's going to try to segregate those deer out further, so that you can get in and out. If you want to get in and out of it.
Yeah. Well, then that's where your inches stuff comes into play, which we've discussed before on certain properties.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell me that you come in this way all the way around, whatever. Well, if you're coming around that way, and even based off your wind direction, okay, if you're coming up through that level, if there's any deer in the middle of that, they're going to either see you, hear you, or smell you.
Yep.
It's not a win, 100%. So food on top, food on below, without a long vertical span, is pretty much a losing deal. You dang near got to approach the upper stands from the opposite side.
Yeah. If you can't, then you're better off moving that food.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
or not even having it.
Or not even having it at all, because you're just cutting yourself off.
Yeah.
You're not. I mean, it'd be cooler you got deer there, but you can't get to any of them.
Yeah.
Or the big ones, you're going to blast them out of there.
Yeah. 100%.
Before you get there.
And you can have big deer on camera all you want. If you can't kill them,
Then you have pictures?
Yeah, we got a lot of pictures.
I don't like just having pictures.
No, me either. I like heads. I like the meat.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Body
Yeah,
meat.
then I really think it goes into you got to redesign it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, because if you can't control the one or the other, whether
Yeah.
it be the bottom food or the top food, if it's not yours,
Yeah.
then you got to change it. If it is yours, you got to change it.
Yeah, 100%. if yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than your property or mine.
Right.
I mean, we have food around us,
Yeah, 100%.
and we use it to our advantage.
Yeah, we have to.
You know, you have to use it. You know, it's not your money paying to put it in, but you can use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, never make the assumption that deer are bedding someplace. And even if you go in there and you find a few beds, you know, and this always does drive me nuts. A lot of people will be like, I know that's a buck. Well, I've seen some pretty big doe.
Oh yeah.
And
You know how I know it's a buck bed?
why?
If I see that buck
In
he's
the bed.
in the bed.
In that area.
And then I'm like, that's a buck bed right
Yeah.
there.
Or I have a camera in that area and it's showing that.
Yeah,
buck.
it's hard to. It's just like looking at tracks.
Yeah.
You can see gigantic tracks. Like, oh, that's a buck. Is it?
But it's got dew claws. Wait,
So?
so do does.
Yeah. Does it say I'm a buck?
No.
Did he write it there?
No.
It's
Yeah.
no, but
9 times out of 10. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and there's a ton of misconception about that. I'm not saying that your
Yeah.
deer don't bed in the middle of the ridge, Scott, because I've seen them do that.
Oh yeah,
I understand that.
they
But,
do it here right now.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of my ridge.
Yeah, but the thing about your property here, and we just proved it with the small property layouts, is when we found all those beds, so I found what, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and then you found the buck beds, and there was 2 of them,
Two of them set
Yes.
back
yeah, and
above,
even thicker stuff.
behind
yeah.
even thicker stuff.
And
Yep,
it was
for
more,
sure.
that was east and west,
Yep.
not up and down the ridge,
Yeah.
Scott.
And
It
the
was
trails-
east and west of those
And
locations.
you can see it in the podcast when we're filming it. We walked past 2 heavy
Yeah.
east-west trails,
Yep.
which is running sideways across the ridges where they're going,
Yes.
where they're staying. They were actually all the trails were just below where they're bedding, their main trails.
Yep.
And the bucks were above that.
Yep. The one thing I know about hunting below or even above on a close vertical transition, you're educating your deer more than you think on entrance and exit just due to sound alone. Because in the evening, even though you made it up to that really nice stand that you like right off the edge, off the edge of the hillside, and you're down a little bit, and you got all those trails and lots of pictures of those bigger deer crisscrossing through there because they're coming from such and such bedding area or from the bottom up to you going to the food. As you're sneaking in there, and I don't care how quiet you are, you ain't quiet enough for a whitetail not to hear you.
Never.
If they're bedded within 100 yards of you, and we all like to think we're ninjas, 9 times out of 10 without wind, you're educating deer.
I've been ninja-esque before.
I've been ninja-esque myself, but I'm sure
I thought I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, I mean,
and then I didn't shoot nothing.
ridges are awesome.
Yeah, greatest
Awesome.
thing in the world for deer hunting.
I have them here. Carl has them. But they are hunted differently.
Yeah.
They have to be hunted differently. They have to be. There's not anybody out there that's going to tell you that I just hunt them the same as you hunt anything. Because you can't hunt them the same as you hunt anything.
No.
You know, and being that I know it is Scott's property, so that's the best part. You have control of making it do what you want. Like we talk all the time about we make the deer do what we want them to do. And people laugh at us, but we do.
Yeah.
We push them where we want them to go. We dictate the movement more than they know. They just do it because it's easy.
Habits, yeah, it's a habit for them. They're going to run that easiest route.
That's why they do it.
Yep.
You know, which is why we put stands where we put them, why we have food where we have them, why
I
we cut
actually had
trees
a-
where we cut them.
I actually had a question on the YouTube channel the other day. They were talking about Phil's hunt for leaner.
Mhm.
And the guy said, how did he put it? He said, when leaner was standing there waiting or whatever, he asked where the deer had come from. He goes, because it looks like it's all, what do you call it? Basically open woods, but he had a different name for it, like stick trees or something. And I'm like, no. And I said, he's standing at the edge of the thickest bedding area. I said, and that deer was, he's like, why did he want to go down there? Well, and if you watch the beginning of the video, there was doe down there.
There's does down there.
And then the water hole is there. And that's that main transition east-west, and he was right on the edge of the thick stuff.
Yep.
And then he committed, and that's when he got shot.
And he had, and then I think I even said in there, he 100% had the wind in his face.
Yeah, no.
But-
You said it.
Yeah, but I know how that stand is set on that ridge where that wind goes, and it proved my point.
Yeah, that's why you put it there.
Yeah, that's why I put it there, and he came from directly behind us.
Yeah.
You saw, I took you in and showed you exactly where the stand was.
Yeah, I told him it's all explained
Yeah,
on that.
we just outsmarted him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he came out of the bedding.
yeah, 100%.
You know, and that was the same. Yeah, there was does. He wanted the does. He didn't want them at first,
No.
but he committed to it, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, he'll live forever now at Phil's Wall.
He will.
Yeah, buddy. So hopefully that answered your question, Scott. We are definitely not criticizing how you go about doing things. I just think that maybe you should be a little more open-minded about east-west bedding for mature bucks at that level on your property. Also, entrance and exit is very important.
I would, you know, if you want to have the separate bedding or separate food spots, in my opinion, then move them vertically to each other,
Yeah.
either down or up. So you're giving yourself
That entrance.
an entrance and exit.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. We appreciate the questions, like we said. If you guys got any questions or anything you want answered, be sure to leave them right here in the comments. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to check out the podcast, you can get us on any of the podcast outlets, for sure.
All of them out there.
Also, check out our new group.
Blue collar bucks, everyday hunters, doing what we do. So get on there, check that group out on the Facebook machine, join it up. We have lots of stuff coming out there for you to see.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, buddy.